Bigfoot. Is he out there? This is a question people have been asking for as long as other people have been saying that they've seen him. As Christians, Bigfoot may seem like a controversial idea. There's many crazy theories about Bigfoot that may cause some of us to question if this isn't something of the occult that we should stay away from. But cryptozoology is just the study of creatures that may or may not exist. There's plenty of new animals being discovered that were once thought to be myths. Romans 1:20 talks about how creation proves God's existence. If Bigfoot is real, then it's only another example of how amazing our God truly is. I've always been a big fan of cryptid and paranormal experiences. It's something I truly enjoy and have done a lot of research on, so that's why I chose this image. This still is rhetorical. It has purposive, pragmatic, and powerful elements. It's purposive because it seeks to prove to the world that Bigfoot is real. It's pragmatic because there's no definitive proof that it's a hoax. And it's powerful because it has led to the explosion of the Bigfoot movement. Let's talk about this more in depth. This photo is purposive because it's set out to prove the existence of Bigfoot. The image shows a hairy creature walking in a clearing. It's not any known species, and it appears to be the legendary Bigfoot. Her arms are mid-swing and her head is tilted towards the camera, like she's been cut in the act. Patterson and Gimlin set out to look for Bigfoot in October of 1967 because of the Jerry Cruz footprints spotted in the area. They'd been looking for about a month when they got this video. Gimlin, in an interview, speaks about the experience with awe and excitement. It's like he really believes what he saw. While Patterson passed away before getting to see the community grow and support them, Gimlin is still alive and attends events to talk about Bigfoot. His story is consistent with the original newspaper article on the film, and he's never once confessed to it being a hoax, despite all the backlash he's received over it. Many believers claim that this is real, and despite people coming out and saying that they were the ones in the costume, there's no proof that this was a suit or that there was ever a suit purchased or made. The stories of those who claim this don't really line up either. You can see this more in the Astonishing Legends podcast episode I've got linked in the description below. Let's talk a little bit more about why so many people believe this is not a hoax. This photo is pragmatic because despite it being over 50 years old, it's never been definitively debunked. It holds up. It's being an old film, you can tell pretty easily if it's been spliced or edited due to the fact that they actually had to cut the film. But this is not visible in this film, nor is there any other added elements that make this film quality questionable. Despite being blurry by today's standards, it's pretty good for a 16mm, and the shot can be examined with relative accuracy. The body of the creature is probably not a man in a costume. The creature has these mid-back drapery folds that would not have been present on a costume. These are fat deposits seen on like humans and gorillas. Think of old fat guys at the beach. Those things on their back, that. There's an inverted T shape on the back consistent with human innate bodies that are the lumbar fold and the spinal indentation. If it was just the spinal indentation, people would be like, it's a zipper line, which is what people have said, but there's also this horizontal fold, which is why most people don't believe that that is a zipper line. There's also this excess skin in the armpit, like you see on older people when their skin starts getting all loose. This is not typically seen in fur costumes, as they're usually made to be tighter, especially around the arms. And even if it were an article of clothing, it doesn't really match the way that baggy or bigger clothes usually would flow. This creature greatly follows anatomical elements of humans and apes, which makes it really weird because those are usually suppressed in costumes. Look at any ape costume. You don't understand what I'm saying. Well, someone could conceivably make a costume to reflect these elements. It would require a lot of knowledge on anatomy and tailoring. Given the time it was made and the knowledge of the men behind this film, it's unlikely that they would have been able to do it, nor would they have known anyone or been able to find anyone. This image suggests that the Bigfoot is over 7 feet tall. I don't think I have to tell you that that's not what normal people are. This creature has a long gait that is not replicable by a human, which means that they would have had to find a really big person. Whether or not you believe that the photo is real, you can't deny the influence it's had. This photo is powerful and is a major major moment in the Bigfoot history. It became an iconic image seen on many pieces of Bigfoot merchandise and has become one of the most notable images of Bigfoot. He has become this cultural icon and is one of the most popular and well-known cryptids. I can say Jersey Devil, I can say Mothman, but the moment I say Bigfoot, you know who I'm talking about. This image helped make Willow Creek a tourist destination for anyone interested in Bigfoot, especially with the Bigfoot exhibit at Willow Creek China Flat Museum. It's one of the first serious evidences of Bigfoot, and it's a hotly debated one at that. No other piece of Bigfoot evidence has had this many people writing about it. It has moved people to look for Bigfoot and try and find their own evidence, leading to many shows and documentaries on Bigfoot. So many people have seen it and shared it that even if it was definitively disproven, the myth would go on. And this photo's power proves its rhetorical nature. It's not just a photograph, but it's a chapter in the history of Bigfoot lore. The men who made this film set out to prove Bigfoot's existence. They've never taken back their claims, and those who have confessed to being in on the hoax have never been able to prove it. This photo this still is from is not edited, nor is it likely that it's a man in a suit. Due to the large publicity of this image, it's become a cultural icon and has made Bigfoot a household name. Now that you've heard the evidence, comment below what you think about Bigfoot.